after I was diagnosed in the hospital here in New York City at NYU Langone, after my surgical biopsy, I was assuming that once I got that diagnosis, I would be swept off into treatment, and I was aware of all these medical advancements and in chemotherapy and oncological care, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll just have a pill that I need to take. Maybe this will just be a blip on the radar, and nobody even needs to know. I mean, this is how out of touch I was with the whole situation. The experience was completely different. My endocrinologist, who had done the biopsy, I turned to him and I said, okay, what's next? We have the diagnosis. What's the treatment protocol? How do we fix this? Because I need to be fine. And he said, well, I encourage you to find an oncologist, but really the buck stops here with me. It's my job to diagnose you, and then most people go find their care team and their doctor of choice, and usually you get first opinion, second opinion, sometimes third opinion. And it was at this point where I couldn't believe that I had gotten myself to an illusion of a finish line, and a goose chase was just about to start. It was 3 days after I was diagnosed with surgical tape on my neck and the tiniest bit of information on what I had. No stage, no type. It just was Hodgkin lymphoma. And if you Google that, it's a wide variety of outcomes, and it can be aggressive, it can be slow progressing, many options. So stay away from Google. But it was literally 3 days of my mother, Matt, and me on the phone calling MSK, Weill Cornell, any cancer center who would take me. And here I am in New York City, surrounded by the best centers and care in the world. And I was getting given a 3-month waiting time. And I actually had to say to the administrator on the phone that I just got diagnosed yesterday, and based on what I'm reading, I'm not sure that I will make that appointment in July. I actually had to say those words, which was incredibly terrifying for me to actually articulate that and come to that realization. But it was the craziest experience trying to get into treatment. And I'm not even saying we're pulling ropes with like friends of friends and who went to this doctor for their cancer. I mean, we're calling all of our cancer friends to see whose doctor we could go to. And these, again, weren't just strings. We were pulling maritime ropes to get into care. And luckily, thank God, by 5 connections removed, I got into to see Dr. John Leonard, who's head of the lymphoma program at Weill Cornell. He's world-renowned, and I cannot believe my luck that I got into to be treated with him and his team. But really, it was the beginning of a very grueling treatment schedule, but at a time when I thought everything would be easy, and once you got the diagnosis, you can, float right through into treatment. It was a very different experience. So I encourage anybody who's going through this to stick with it and to corral those close to you and put them to work, put them on the phone. You're gonna be tired